Hello, I will be interviewing my friend on two topics that interest me the most, these being family history and immigration. So, tell us a little about yourself. What is your full name, and why did your parents select this name for you?
Hello, my name is Faraz Rahman. I go to the Rutgers Business School majoring in finance. My parents selected this name due to grand my grandmother decided to name me Faraz, and she passed away 2 weeks before I was born.
What was your religion growing up?
I am a practicing Muslim. My whole family is Muslim.
When and where were you born?
I was born in Trenton, New Jersey, July 8th, 1997.
Tell us about your immigration history. Where did your family come from?
My family is originally from Hyderabad, India. When they got married, my father migrated to Saudi Arabia, where he worked and and my all my siblings were born there. My three older siblings were born there. However, during the Gulf War, when we were on vacation, we weren't allowed to go back to the country. We lost all our possessions and we lost our whole business, and we had to come to America with nothing. And my aunt gave us a sponsorship, and from there, my dad decided to settle in New Jersey.
What difficulties did your family face coming into this country? Well, I mean, what more can you tell me essentially?
So my father was supposed to go to med school, but he had to sacrifice his time for his family. So he didn't go to school, but instead sent my mother to school. And like it was just associates. She got her associates so that she could work in this country. And my dad worked at Sears for 25 years uh, for the sales department. And 10 years ago, he decided to uh, work for this import export business, and that's another income that he has brought in. And struggles were obviously money, but also health, because all the stress that he had for the money impacted his health.
What is your views on Trump and him becoming president of this country?
So obviously, Donald Trump's rhetoric is unacceptable since when he was running for the presidency. Honestly, if he had better rhetoric and did not say stuff about Mexicans, about Muslims, about basically every single race and religion out there, even Jews, uh, he would probably be accepted by almost all people because he has good economic policies, but the way he talks, all to get the hidden votes that our country has, was unacceptable. But he's our president now, so all like we can ask for is that he calms down and actually fights for all people and makes our economy and makes America great again.
Fair enough. Now I'm going to switch it up and ask you about your childhood. So, what is your earliest childhood memory? Something that's like meaningful to you, to your life.
Probably when I went to India and I spent time. I went to India once and I was like at least 4 years old, and I remember most of the trip for some reason. And I just remember spending time with my whole family and just seeing all my cousins in India and basically my trip to India as a kid is has all the values that I have right now is because of that trip. My value of family, my value of religion, my value of health, and like seeing all my brothers after the India trip go to college and become doctors after that is the value of education. So
Okay. So are there any special heirlooms, photos, any, let's say, like books or other memorabilia that you've passed down in your family?
First, I'll start with my grandfather. My grandfather prayed on this prayer rug since he was 9 years old till he was like 60. And we pray 5 times a day. So if you do the math, how many times that he prayed on that rug? He prayed on that rug so much that there's a hole where the knees are supposed to fall. When you go onto the ground, there's holes where the knees are. That's how much he prayed on the rug, and we have that rug in our house. Other memorabilia. Um, I mean, that's probably the most important memorabilia I have. Um, yeah.
Fair enough. Are there any stories about famous or infamous relatives in your family?
Yeah, so my great grandfather, was a minister, and my my great grandfather also went to school. Well, great great grandfather went to school with the king of Hyderabad, and the king of Hyderabad was his best friend, and the king made my family royalty by. The king made my family. He like deemed them royalty because they were so close to each other. And then a lot of my, because of the money that we racked in India because we became royalty, my family like became rich and wealthy, and a lot of people know who they are in India. Um, yeah, I have a lot of cousins or like far relatives that have done a lot for the country. Like my dad's dad was the first archaeologist of India, and my dad was an athlete. He was an Olympic athlete for India, and yeah, so my family has a lot of history.
How's the world different today from what it was like when you were a child?
So obviously, when I was a child, there wasn't that much technology. Like there was just television, basically, like and telephones. Like there were computers, but they weren't like the way computers are today. They weren't mobile. They were huge, like huge boxes and screens, and like there wasn't social media. There was nothing. So and I grew up different from all these other kids because my brothers are 35, 36 now, 34, my sister's 29, and I was raised the way they were, and they were raised in the 80s when they didn't even have any of these things. So the way I was raised was like I'm in the 80s versus people that didn't have older siblings. So they're kind of more in tune with like all this like technology and stuff, and I was always like raised in a bubble of like it was just different. I was basically raised in like the 90s, 80s. Like the way I was, the respect factor, the the like importance of like religion, the importance of like respect, the importance like basically like I just did everything that an 80s child did.
How are holidays like birthdays or, in your case, Eid celebrated in your family? And did your family have special traditions during these holidays?
So when I was a child, we were very involved in the family. Like my dad has 10 brothers and sisters, so like birthdays and all these holidays were pretty fun, but as time grew on, everyone grew up and started to become distant. So now, like, birthdays don't matter as much, and holidays we just spend with immediate, like, family, like, just my sister's family and my family. And yeah.
All right. To end this, what is one thing you most want people to remember about you?
I want people to remember my character and to this, look inside. Don't just look at the cover, look inside and see my intentions and see that I made a difference in the community and that I'm not I just want to make a difference on people's lives while also I want to become successful for my parents to show them that you know I made a choice of doing business. I could have done medicine, but I made a choice to do business because I felt like that's where I'm more passionate about, and that I can succeed in business and succeed in business while also doing something for the community. That social entrepreneurship, social business aspect that I want to do. So make a difference and be successful.
All right. Thank you so much for your time.